Joaquin, I met you in a dream, but dreams are all this life is made of. Could I meet you in the morning? Will it take so many years? Time don't know my fear, so it seems. Someday, you'll be here to stay, and I'll be everything you ever wanted. I will love you in the morning, and we'll laugh the fears away. Time is just a word anyway.
Now, your maiden name is Mary Johnson.
Mary Elizabeth Johnson.
And you were born in Corinth, Mississippi, right?
48 miles north of Tupelo.
Now, I know I'm not supposed to ask this, but when's your birthday?
February 6th, 1943.
1943.
Why are you not supposed to ask that?
Well,
The Lord knows how old I am, and anybody that sees this is going to know how old I am. Look at that poor old thing.
some women get offended if a gentleman asks their age.
I don't care.
Okay, so when did you really get discovered? I remember you telling me something about
Well,
Wink Martindale, or...
No. Buddy Bain. Buddy Bain. B-A-I-N. Had a show on just before noon every day, and he would invite local and semi-local talent to be on there from time to time, and getting ahead of myself. First of all, back when the March of Dimes was strictly to raise money to find a cure for polio, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it was a radiothon. The people would call in requests for certain one to sing this, or certain one to sing another song, or whatever, or play one. The preacher's daughter, our preacher's daughter, and I went on there and sang Croce d'Oro,
Uh-huh.
Cross of Gold, and which was a hit by Patti Page at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that song, and she did too. And we harmonized. Did a duet. Double duel. And people started hearing it, and they started calling in and pledging money for me to sing another song. Oh. So then I sang, Please Take Me Back to Toyland. Everyone's happy there. It's more than a girl in Boyland. It's a really sweet little song. And the same lady called back and asked if I knew another song that she loved. It just so happened that I did, because I loved all the same music my mother and daddy did, plus the new music that was coming in. And I absolutely adored Elvis, as did my mother and daddy, thankfully, because that was not the case with most young ladies, their parents threw fits if they liked Elvis.
So he was considered a rebel, and
What?
because parents probably considered him a rebel, you know.
Their parents probably did. Mine didn't.
Mhm.
They loved him, just like they loved Sam Cooke, like I did. We got to meet him together because of my cousin, who lived in Florence, Alabama, and I loved him to death because he was so kind to us. You know, he came to the backstage door and stood there and had a conversation with me and with my parents, and I thought that was just adorable for somebody, you know, famous already. Because we had first heard him as Sam Cooke and the Soul Stirrers when they were strictly gospel.
Yeah.
But then he went pop with RCA Victor, and they put an album out on him on which he sang I Dream of Jeanie with the Light Brown Hair, which has always been one of my favorite songs. That's why I chose Jeanie.
Oh, well, you went through actually a couple of different names. You went through
Well, Jeanie was there
from the beginning.
get-go.
Yeah. Well, you went to Jeanie Fortune for a little while, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, but that was later, and I don't even remember which song it was on.
I want
It was on Victor, but it's RCA Victor. But I don't even remember what I did.
I want to
Okay.
say, if I'm not
Angry Eyes on one side.
and
Keep me.
Sure as Sin.
Keep me.
Well, now,
Why
sure as
don't you keep me?
now, there was one song
Out
that
of
you
Motown. It was a Motown song.
one song that you did that I absolutely love is Once More with Feeling.
Well, Marlon Greene,
Mm-hmm.
giving everybody their due here that I can think of, and Dan Pennington wrote that together.
I love that song.
Well, I did too. I told them I really liked that title. Could they come up with a song by that title? They did. We agree on that. I thought it was good. And then Dan and I believe Spooner Oldham, who wrote so many great things together.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody, all of us call him Spooner.
Yeah.
Lyndon is his real name, but nobody knows him that way. He's Spooner Oldham, you know. And he's just sweet as he can be. They wrote Angry Eyes together, if I'm not mistaken,
Mm-hmm.
which was the other side of that Jeanie Fortune.
So you only
I don't
did.
know why Chet Atkins wanted me to change my last name as well as my first name. You know, I just really, I don't ever remember that one because it's just one of the you know, why? But anyway, we went with that. Well, it was no fortune. Anyway.
So you only did like 2 records under that name, right?
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah.
Well,
But that was the second time I had a contract with RCA Victor. And the first time was when I was 15 years old. My folks had to sign the contract for me because I was, way below age, And I sang more adult stuff, you know. That's what I liked, and that's what I did.
There is a river called the river of no return. Sometimes it's peaceful and sometimes wild and free. Love is a traveler on the river of no return, swept on forever to be lost in a stormy sea.
Question. Now, you recorded originally your first record at Sun Records, the same place that Elvis, his start.
Well, it wasn't really a record. We went over there. Mother and Daddy carried me over there to have it, knowing Elvis's tale, of how he had come to do the record for his mother, and probably for himself to see how he sounded recorded, And we went over there knowing that it was a really reasonable price that they charged you per side, as they called it. I think I did four or five songs. One of them has not surfaced in my possession or anybody else's that I know of. I did that to have something to play for people when they came to the house and wanted to hear me sing and play, because I had a cabinet grand piano facing the wall, and at that time I had not learned to project, and it was a bear. They'd have to get up and come over there and stand around me to hear everything I was singing. So that's why we thought we'd do that. And we did do that. Absolutely got him and brought him back to Corinth with us.
You saw Elvis in concert at some park, didn't you?
Yeah, when Russwood Park was still there and the Memphis Chicks played baseball as a farm team for the St. Louis Cardinals. He was in concert at that park. Well, my mother, my daddy's older sister, and I went to that. And my daddy's older sister was a big woman, and she meant for me to get to see and hear every word that came out of his mouth and every movement he made. So she just made a path through those people that screaming, carrying on, making all kinds of stupid racket that you couldn't hear anything over, He could have sung, I don't know, anything, and you wouldn't have known it. And she wasn't going to put up with it, so she just made us a path down through those people and got me right at the very front edge of the stage. Well, we didn't realize it, but there was a cameraman on the stage taking pictures, and I was the only one standing around that stage, not acting an utter fool with, and I was just standing there in awe, looking at this gorgeous, beautifully singing human being. I've never been so blown away in my life. And I got to really enjoy it because I was right up there, and they could scream all they wanted to around me. I was paying them absolutely no attention. He had my full attention. And right now, this photographer took a picture because I was the only one not acting a fool, right, you know. And my Lena was standing right behind me, and so her picture's right behind me.
Now this, you said
And
this.
this was on the front page of the Memphis Press Scimitar back before it went out of business, and all you could get out of Memphis was the commercial appeal, and that's the way I feel about y'all, if that's the way you want to hear it. Truth is truth. Anyway, the Press Scimitar followed Elvis's career more closely through Bob Johnson, Robert Johnson, who was one of their columnists. And he kept us kind of up to date on where he'd be playing and where you could listen to him on the radio and all this. And so one night, I knew from his having let us know that way that he'd be on the Louisiana hayride. And we had one of these console RCA Victor radios, and had the 4 tuner buttons, you know, and I turned it as loud as I could, and I stuck my ear right up to the speaker, and I turned it just as slowly as I possibly could, and I found it. Oh boy, I said, hallelujah! Mother and Daddy came in there, said, what have you got? I said, this Elvis Presley, listen to this. I turned it up some more, and we all were just blown away. He was taking the house down, and I mean the people were they were fainting and falling out. They did that at Russellwood Park too. They had to have ambulances come and tow some of these girls to the hospital. I thought that was the goofiest pile of it that I had ever heard of in my life. If you want to hear somebody, listen to them. If you want to see them, look at them. Shut your mouth and be still. You know, I couldn't ever understand that. I never understood it when the Beatles came over here from England. Wow, the dang screaming. If you want to hear them, listen. If you want to see them, watch them. This is just ridiculous, and it'll never cease to be ridiculous to me.
After all, what you need is what you do. Can you believe that?